Hey, bit of an experiment here. I'm wearing a lapel mic, so if anybody finds that I'm not, you can't hear me talking, will you tell me straight away? Put a little message on the screen, because I've never tried it with a lapel mic before, but the audio should be really good because it's on a lapel mic. Or you're not able to hear me at all, one or the other. So let me know in the comments, click the comment thing there, and let me know if you can actually hear me. You can hear me deadly. Well done. LX is here and he can hear me perfectly. So we're looking good. Sorry, I'm opening up my laptop so I can get some questions that came in by emails so quickly this morning. God, there's so many questions already. I didn't know that you had so many people who were so interested in cars and asking questions and things. If I'd known this before, I would have done this long ago. But it's like every Sunday I have at least 50 questions. There's Sydney's online as well. Great. This is the Mazda 3. Yes, I am sitting in the Mazda 3 right now. I know I haven't had a chance to actually do a video of the Mazda 3 yet. But I'll give it the fastest review it ever got. It feels really dated. Really dated. It really didn't age well. The screens and the interaction, and there's no Apple CarPlay, and there's no things that are missing from like normal cars at the moment. But Mazda still handles the best. It's a 2-litre petrol. It's not economical by any way, shape or form. But I wasn't really expecting a fuel economy. I did give it a bit. It was hard because I drove it down to Cork and back, which is a very long way for a petrol engine car, and it sits on a motorway most of the time, so I suppose that probably wasn't a fair representation of the car, but it seems to be doing about 8 litres per 100 kilometres, which didn't help. So that wasn't good either. There's our moderator has arrived, will be coming and going, so if you've got questions about streaming or something, you can ask the moderator. Do as I say, no flooding the channel and all that ecology. Can I just get a first quick shout out to Adrian Gaffney, who sent me an email yesterday evening, thinking ahead. He said, a Sunday service question. I'm thinking of getting a second-hand Nissan Leaf as a second car for a 50 kilometre a day commuting. Looking at a 2014, which is a good idea. What do you think? Any pitfalls I go for? What do you think of UK imports to Ireland these days? Right, so we did with the first question, which is changing over to Nissan Leaf for a 40 or 50 kilometre commute every day is a genius idea. You will save a fortune because it basically will cost you nothing in fuel. For 50 kilometres, it'll do it perfectly back and forward. Buying a used Nissan Leaf is a different story entirely, in that we don't really have that many of them on the market, so it's quite hard to gauge. It depends on the actual car and how badly or how well it's been treated over the years. Been treated well, and I'd expect an electric car to be treated very well, so I don't really see a problem with this. There's no real downside to buying this Nissan Leaf for that particular thing. UK imports, every dealer's doing it at the moment. I've driven by so many dealerships in Ireland over the last while where I see 15 or 16 or 20 cars down at the front, and every single one of them just come off a truck with UK imports all over it. So, you know, if the dealers are doing it and the dealers are the ones who are saying, let us do the importing for you, then, you know, maybe you should go look for yourself. But there isn't that many Leafs on sale in Ireland, so definitely check that one out in the UK and see if you can get a deal there. But the spec is going to be basically identical. So if you can get it in Ireland, get it here first, if the prices are close enough together. I got a load of responses from you as well, all telling me that you all listen to it like a podcast. Like you stick it on the Bluetooth in the car for your commute and things, which is really cool. It's not a podcast, by the way. It's purely a live stream thing. It's a bit of crack doing it. I have to say, everybody gives me tons and tons and tons of questions, loads of warnings to go with it as well, which is absolutely brilliant. But I really enjoy it. It's a good bit of crack. It's live. This is live. This is a live show, right? None of this is recorded or rehearsed. Another question I got as well. Do I write a script for the videos that I make in the reviews every day? No, I barely do any research at all. It's the way the car feels is what I do. I don't really write a script of any kind. I do write reviews, so I do write for, and there's a new outlet coming very shortly that I'll be writing for, but I do write reviews, but I don't write scripts for what I'm doing online. So that's really end of that now. I see a pile of questions starting to appear online already. Just letting people flood into what's going on. That's a crack horse. Watching from Mayo. I like it. You're good. By the way, I was one that sent you the logo on Twitter. Is this my name on YouTube? Very logo on Twitter. Oh yeah, that was really nice logo. Well done. LX. Very nice logo. That was gorgeous. I did reply to you. I don't know what you want me to do with that, but it looks really nice. It was really good. Nice graphic design. What's the crack horse? Is Darren, your man Darren. It's a Sky Active 2-litre petrol. I had one in Norway recently. It's really, really slow. I thought even with a 6-speed block. It is, yeah, Lee. It does actually feel quite sluggish, kind of, for a petrol. You do really miss a turbo when it's not there, I have to say. 2011 BMW 520d versus 2012 Audi A6. Both relatively boring there, David, to be honest with you. 520Ds is not going to light any fires. The one that's going to be exciting, one of the two, is going to be the 520 because it's rear-wheel drive, and the A6 is much more likely to be front-wheel drive. And if it is, it's going to be the most boring one of the two. But if the A6 is Quattro, I'd buy the Quattro. So now, only Quattros are fun. Cormac, I have a 2.2-litre diesel at the moment, Turkey. Yeah, the 2.2 is much better in the Mazda, but it's not as economical as other diesel engines are. So but it's a smooth engine, and it's a nice car. It just feels very dated compared to some of the more modern stuff that just come out this year, you know. Sam Byrne, 2016 Passat versus 2011 Hyundai iX35. Passage. What's a Passage? Is that a Passat? You meant to say, or a Passage? Anyway, iX35 is a very good car. A lot of imports of them. Yeah, he did. He's correct himself. It's Passat, 2016 Passat. There's a lot of those iX35s that are coming to the country. I did pass by a Hyundai dealer in Tullamore the other day. I can't think what they're called. Fitzpatrick's, I think. And there was like 9 of them standing outside the door. So there's plenty to choose from, I have to say. Plenty out there in iX35s. Passat is going... Your big difference in years there, Sam. 2016 Passat versus a 2011 iX35. I'd go with the Passat. You're going to get better kit in it because it's 2016. Second YouTuber, Lars the moderator. Started live stream now, Lars. I have no idea how to do moderation without going into big screen over to the side. When will you test drive the Skoda Kodiaq? That's in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something. Very soon. Something that has a 318 diesel. Actually, you sent me the pictures of a 318 diesel, which is very nice. I'm glad you're enjoying the 318. It's a really good car. 25 grand for 2015 Cupra with 20k on the clock. Good idea. 25 grand for 2015 Cupra. Sounds good. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Sounds okay. If that's the Irish price, yeah, 2015 Cupra. Really good cars, Cupra. You'll never regret buying a Cupra. If you'd like to use, I can send you a full version of your business email, channels of logos, the team, send it eye-catching. Yeah, grand, sure, send it on. I think it is branding. If you want, my own channel, YouTube channel, has YouTube banners and things that I made up as well on the top, which looks like that, TNG, you can see there. Send it on to me though, bobflav@thenextgear.com. Everybody knows that one. I get all sorts of emails. Good afternoon, Father Bob. Celtic have just beaten Rangers in the semi-cup final. Please have a word on the man above in the final. Thanks. I must be Scottish, are you? I'm in the Mazda 3. I was actually watching a London Marathon, which was on just a few minutes ago. It's just finishing now. It's the fastest woman has finished the course. It was brilliant, really good race. The Paralympics part of it was brilliant. Absolutely phenomenal finish with some of the guys. And I'm supposed to be, but I've hurt my back. I think I may have slipped a disc again. I'm supposed to be doing the Virgin Media night run tonight in Dublin, which is on at, I think, 9 p.m. around Dublin. But that's a 10k, so I'll be doing that one myself. At least Paddy Common will be doing that. Yeah, one of us will be doing it. What if you prefer older cars or newer types to find more of an old school type? I don't really have a preference. I just test whatever's good. I don't really care if it's new or old. If it's good, it's always going to be good. If it's bad, it's always going to be bad. Do any of the car manufacturers complain to you after a review? No, they'd be too nervous to do, John. If you complain about what, like? I'm talking, you want me to talk, if you give me a car, you want me to talk about your car. If I talk about your car, whether it be positive or negative, it's going to be just my opinion. So I don't do it to keep car companies happy. I'm sure there's plenty of other reviewers out there who do things to keep car companies happy. I don't do that. I do that because I don't want you or anyone like you to spend 45,000 euros or 50 grand or 100 grand on the wrong car. And so I always give a direct opinion of the car that I'm sitting in. If they don't like that opinion, well, you know, hard luck. If you want access to my audience, I have to be driving your cars. I put a different clamp. This is actually a big camera clamp that I've put onto the windscreen of the car, which holds this so solidly. It's really good. Where was I? I run a Mark 1 Octavia VRS. Love it and can't part ways with it. Don't. If you love it, never lose it. Mad. I have a 10, 11-year-old Seat Leon. I still love the thing and I'd never get rid of it. Would you ever do a review of like a Duda? I'd review, if a car gets provided, I'll review anything. And getting around, there's loads of plans I have at the moment. I'm trying to find another job as well as another part. So, because I'm finishing the job I was in, so that's come to an end. So I have to find another normal job as well, or just a job in general. Looking at the Kodiaq here, the ideal home is XY RDS. Looks great, basically for 30 grand, super value, but the model on the stand is 44 grand. Yeah, that's a big difference. Isn't it? 30 grand where it starts and 44 grand is what you see in the dealership. It's like a 14,000. That's the price of a Dacia in the middle of those two. The thing is, you gotta love the car, right? A Kodiaq is great, and there's a lovely buzz about it at the moment. And every time you upload anything that says the word Kodiaq, and everybody jumps on you. And it is a really good car. I think it'll do very well. I think it'll be a car that you will actually love and you get the use of. I just don't know about buying the bottom entry level just to be in that Kodiaq. The 44 grand one has a lot more stuff in it. I think what makes you different is why I enjoy your channel. I tell you exactly your opinion, your words. That's everything has to be your. The key is the opinion, right? And I know I don't have a huge subscriber count compared to like massive gaming channels or like 9 million subscribers for Jacksepticeye or any of these guys. But what I can honestly stand over every video I've made and said that it's been my opinion and it's what I actually feel about the car, whether I like it or whether I don't like it. And there's not that, I don't think there's that many car reviewers out there that can do just that. There'd be very few, anyway, at least. Why is my laptop gone off? Right, okay. I'm going to try and find my own live stream, which is why is that so hard to do? To find your own live stream. What's on TV? Is there anything good on TV? Is like Formula 1's not on today, is it? What was that? I like your honest, witty, characterful assessment of I don't know about witty, but yeah, it's pretty good, all right. I try to have a sense of humour about things as well. You kind of have to, you know? You have to be funny about stuff. Mark 6 Golf or a Saab 9.3? Mark 6 Golf. Tinny is the way I think of the Mark 6 Golf. I always think a higher car always jumps to mind. Saab 9.3 though is dead, right? And that is a problem. Like that's an issue for parts, for getting stuff done, for getting the dealerships. Guys will freak out when they see you come with a Saab, and yet they're such a good car, and I mean really, really good car. So I would go with the Saab 9.3, no problem. Any plans to review the Audi S4, S5? If it comes to Ireland, I'll have no problem reviewing it. The problem is a lot of these cars don't come to Ireland, or to do them, only the select few get to drive them. Only the ones with the national newspaper publications get to drive them, and then they take them off free and take them away. Yeah, they like to try and play favourites. I don't really care. Old Top Gear, Quentin, Tiff and Jeremy. Old Top Gear, Jeremy, Richard and James. Or New Top Gear, Matt, Chris and Roy. Old Top Gear, Jeremy, Richard and James, please. They moulded why I review cars. Jeremy Clarkson had a massive influence over me reviewing cars anyway. Not just because video, just the way, irreverence, just to kind of, you could give a car to Jeremy Clarkson, he didn't know whether he was going to absolutely slam the thing or he'd sell thousands because of him. And that's his opinion. He was the first man. He changed motor reviewing in the UK entirely. He started selling his reviews for £50 a pop to anybody who'd take them. And so on. He changed that. It became a less exclusive thing and it became an amazing system over there. So, but at the same time, the modern guys who are taking over are struggling to gel because it's not a new show. It's near impossible to take over an existing show and make it your own. You have to kind of dump the audience off and then, then it comes back on again. So don't forget to hit that like button up there at the top when you're here at the live stream. Just if you wouldn't mind, like it's not that much of a bloody effort to move your hand a little bit to the left on the mouse and go click like. That's all. 48 of you watching, 15 likes. How does that work out? Like click the bloody like button. Adrian Hogan. Hi Bob. A3 Saloon fuel economy on paper for petrol and diesel is listed as the same in the real world as this case. I drive 28k a year, which would be petrol, diesel. Petrol, Adrian, without a doubt. So diesel is more expensive. How do you work this out? So diesel is more expensive to buy initially. Usually about 1,500 quid between the petrol and diesel version, given the two specs being identical, other than the engine. About 1,500 quid between the two. So the diesel automatically starts out 1,500 quid in the red versus the petrol. And then you have servicing, which a diesel is going to be more expensive to service every single time. If anything goes wrong, usually a diesel works out to be far more expensive. You've got a thing called a DPF in a diesel that if you don't use properly will block up. You have to change. That's 1,500 quid. So generally anyone who's under 30,000 kilometers per year should be in a petrol, and anyone who's over the 30,000 kilometers should be on the diesels. But it's borderline. You have to take those numbers with a kind of grain of salt. If you spend all day on a motorway, diesel, right? Wow, I fell behind there very quickly. Okay, click the like button. Come on, you're doing well there. 33 likes. Look, come on, 57 of you watching, 33 likes. Hit the like button in the face right now as hard as you can. You know, don't break your mouse though. You can break your wrist if you want. Don't break your phone or whatever, right? Jesus, a lot of fuel economy. So that was for Adrian Hogan. Make sure you're driving a petrol for 28,000. You're very close to that line, 28 to 30,000 ish. Kia Sorento versus Kodiaq. Kodiaq will be better to drive. This Kia Sorento is a bigger car and more Americanized, but still a nice car. It's a lovely car. It's slightly cheaper than the Kodiaq as well. You'll get a little bit more spec in the Kia Sorento. I would pick a Kodiaq, but I would probably veer off at the last minute and consider that 7-year warranty from Kia. It's a long warranty. Alan Harmon, Bob, new Volvo XC60 seems to start at around 54,000 euro, according to Volvo website. Is that not very expensive? Alan, it is. Unfortunately, the Volvo XC60 and Volvos in general have a bag load of safety equipment and stuff that isn't sexy. Safety equipment's not sexy. Lots of airbags are not things you can go, wow, look at the airbag. It's so cool. ABS, anti-lock brake, all these things, all these crash sensors and all that stuff. That all attracts VRT. So Volvo ends up sounding expensive, but actually has quite a lot of safety equipment and things built in. So it's relative. If you look at a Volkswagen Tiguan, for instance, that doesn't have the crash sensor until it reaches the very top end of its range. So you kind of got to balance it out. If you paid, would you buy a 54 grand Volkswagen? Think about that. Is there anyone who provides insurance for expats to keep a car in Ireland for the summer? Hello from Arizona. I was talking to a man, an Irish citizen who lived overseas the last 3 years, didn't have any insurance in Ireland for the last 3 years, but had a clean no claims bonus up to that point, came back here and can't get insurance. He can't even get a quote for insurance on a 1.4 2002 Ford Focus. So, I don't know. Insurance is like a ridiculous system at the moment in Ireland, and it's really complicated minefield stuff. Bob, you're up against it today where TV sports is concerned. Lots of sports, including Leinster in the semi-cup final for the FA Cup semi-final. You see, I'm not a sport person, Brian, so I never really care about these. Look at that! We got 49 people watching and 49 likes. Yeah, well done, guys. I know there's lots of sports things. There's always lots of sports things on a Sunday. I'm not looking to get hundreds and thousands of people involved in this. It's a bit of crack. You can watch the Man United joke while you're watching me as well. You know, you can watch that and listen to this. How do you get dealers, manufacturers to offer you cars to make contact with, buddy? Depends what country you're in, total focus. If you're Ireland, just get in touch with like Volkswagen Ireland or with Seat Ireland or whoever and ask them for cars. But it's a kind of a chicken and egg. So you tend to get cars because you have an audience. Now, I didn't have an audience when I started off, so I started off with second-hand cars until I started getting the audience. But I was like the first YouTube channel about cars in Ireland was me, and now I'm the biggest YouTube channel about cars. So I have the audience that the car companies want to talk to, and so I give them the medium to talk to it. Now, that doesn't mean that they have any control over what I say, but at the same time, if you really want to get into car reviewing, you kind of got to gently seal your way in. You kind of got to get there, build up trust. I mean, the car companies get thousands of emails from young lads going, I want to review cars, I love cars, I want free cars, I want this, I want that. You know, a lot of these guys are going to wrap a car around a pole as soon as they see it. They have to be able to trust you that they can actually give you the car and not going to come back with, 25 penalty points. So bear that in mind, total focus. But at the same time, if you get yourself an audience, the cars certainly do follow. Bob, if you had the power authority to set motor tax rates here, what would you do? I would completely scrap motor tax. Absolutely out the window. It's not worth a fiddler's. It does nothing but cost money. We have humongous offices all over the country and hundreds of staff employed to do nothing but collect motor tax. It's a ridiculous system. You have lads in court, lads in court about not paying motor tax. It makes no sense. Put it straight onto fuel. All fuel will go up by 2 cents right across the board, no questions asked, and everybody pays it. And if little Biddy down the road there who drives 10 miles per bloody year, she pays tax on 10 miles. If a guy drives 1,000 kilometres a week, he pays a hell of a lot more tax. As it is right now, I pay a phenomenal tax for a car that's parked out the back of my house most of the time. So motor tax should be abolished completely as it stands right now. It should move on to fuel. The second series of Top Gear is much better, but it's not a motoring program like Fifth Gear. They're trying to follow the old format and they still need to gel. The problem is, LX, they don't gel, and you've got 3 lads, James, Jeremy, and Richard, who were on the fringes for 8 or 9 years before they became really big. That's what happened there. And then they became really big and they were well settled into it. Right now, you've got millions of people looking at Top Gear going, who the hell are these guys? And that's the problem. That's what, like, a lot of guys who watch Top Gear had no idea who Chris Harris is. We might, because we're on YouTube, and I know I've met Chris a few times. And like the other lad is Joey. So like, what does he know about cars, really? But he is funny. There's not enough Irish lunatics on YouTube, correct, Darren, but not enough people share things either. The audience I tend to attract are a more mature audience, and those mature audience don't tend to share so much because they're not usually logged in. Over 70% of my videos are watched by non-subscribers, people who don't subscribe to anything. Was that the Ford experience like in Cork yesterday? Did they actually assemble cars in Cork? Yes, they did, the Lynx Lizard. The Cork factory finished in 1981 or thereabouts. I think it was 81. It was down to unions. It was down to problems with all sorts of problems they had on there as well. There's actually a kind of a backlash going on at the moment. The UK used classic car market has a problem in that the VIN numbers on the chassis of Fords, Escorts and things from the like late 70s, early 80s, don't match the stuff that's in the cars, because the lads in Cork, you go to a Ford dealership, you pay yourself for a Ford Escort, then you ring a fella down the factory floor and he put leather seats in your car, which is nothing to do with your stuff. So they used to make cars in Cork. They made cars Long Mile Road, Naas Road in Dublin was where Mercedes had a factory. Volkswagen, Fiat were there as well. Peugeot used to do stuff there as well. So yeah, it was a pretty busy country. Once upon a time, to sell cars in this country, you had to make cars in the country. So cheers, Pat Lighton, good show, Bobby says. Best subject in school. Best subject to do what in school? Nothing. School of life will probably teach you as much stuff. I don't know anyone who ever leaves secondary school knowing what they want to do with the rest of their life. So maths, guess one. Hi Bob, your thoughts on an 07 Passat 170 brake horsepower DSG. Looking to purchase a very clean one with an average mileage, but I've just seen online, many thanks. No problem. DSG is gorgeous. Just make sure that DSG has had that's an older one, right? So an 07. Those 07 DSGs did have problems with seizing up and getting oil leaks and things. So make sure, just check the service history, that it's had a recall, that it's gone through the system. Check with Volkswagen Ireland, or check through the local dealership network. They can tell you if a car's had stuff done to it at some point or another. It should have had that DSG box. 07 should have a DSG box fixed at this stage, or it would already be completely broken. Loon Briscoe says, liked, great show, Bob. Keep her lit. Keep her lit, boy. That's a great Irish thing. 52 and 52. 52 people watching, 52 likes. I like it. Go on. If you haven't clicked the like button, click it now. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, click it now, because I do this kind of thing every Sunday for the crack, right? Also, you can support what I'm trying to do, which is create a documentary about the car manufacturing business in Ireland. It's something I've had hovering around the back of my head the last couple of years. A lot of the guys who were involved in making cars in Ireland back in the 50s, 60s, 70s are dying or dead or are gone. And I know that sounds really heartless, but if we don't get these guys on film now, it's gone. And the stories will go with them. And unless we can tell their story, we'll never understand how it is we have so many pharmaceutical companies in the country, because that's how we have them. Those MDs of the car companies became MDs of the pharmaceutical companies. And that intelligence, that manufacturing business continued here in Ireland for quite some time. So I really love that. But if you want to support that, I don't have a Kickstarter page or anything, but I do have a Patreon page. So patreon.com/the next gear. The link is in actually the commentary below to this thing. God, there's so many questions now. What's going on? on, keep going. Here we go, right. When you're reviewing a new Opel Insignia, Bob, I haven't asked Opel for an Insignia, but they haven't told me that there's so many cars, unless somebody emails me and said, do you want to drive an Insignia? I don't really know. So if you work in Opel right now, would you just email me what cars you got, and I'll find dates in the calendar for it. Motogp is on today. God, Motogp can be good fun. I prefer BTCC. I don't really like motorbike racing. It's good. It can be great crack watching the lads get down on the side though. Do you think the motor trade needs to be more transparent? When you go to trade and you never know if you're getting the best deal, there's a big difference in price for the same car. Adrian, unfortunately, the motor industry and how they calculate prices is completely shrouded in secrecy. Motor trade publishers come out with a book every few months that sets the kind of base price for everything, and that's a little book that the dealers take out of the drawer. That's done a mathematical calculation, they say independently, but actually car dealers pay to be in that book and pay to have that book, so I don't know how independent that actually is. Obviously it favours a certain amount of the car industry, making sure everybody makes money, but at the same time the car industry has been like that for years. I grew up in a time where you bought cars used, second hand, for some guy off to buy and sell. That's how I started, so I know a bit about cars because I've always looked at cars. So it's a tough place to be, but the car industry right now is suffering a lot. Car dealerships are under a lot of pressure. They took on a lot of new staff trying to get things moving, and car sales haven't quite panned out the way they thought it was going to pan out. So it's pretty hard. Sid McDonald says, you've my vote on motor tax. You're dead right. Motor tax needs to be abolished immediately. It's the stupidest thing. That is my Leon back there, yeah. It is. 60 likes, yeah, come on, there's only one more like to go. Hit that like button. What about reducing VRT? Would not encourage people to change cars more often, Bob. VRT should also be completely abolished. It's not worth a fiddler's. VRT is just simply the billions that the government can take in off us every single time. VRT was reduced a couple of times. Instead of VRTing the whole car, now they VRT little bits of the car, so you supply all of the stuff you need. All of the component parts are supplied to the government, and they VRT each individual bit, which is why the cars with a lot of safety equipment gets a high VRT. Makes no sense. You want to make cars less safe by putting higher VRT on them. It makes no sense. Why do you think the government don't do as you say and scrap the car tax and put it? I actually asked. I sent in an email to the government department, Minister of Transport, and I suggested this idea, put it on tax, put it on fuel. It was so easy, so simple. Everybody pays the same length of tax. Nobody can avoid tax. And they said it was too bloody hard to do. That's an official thing. Didn't say bloody, but they did say it was too difficult to enforce. Look at the millions you could save by closing down motor tax offices. Think about, just consider that for a second. Look at the millions of man hours they could save by not having a guard standing on the side of the road peering at a tax to see if it's real. Can you imagine that? It just makes so much sense. But no, not in this country. No, they make too much money out of it. Oh no, you wouldn't be able to guarantee how much money we'd make from motor tax because it'd be fluid. You know, people would have fuel and not fuel, and it just doesn't make any sense. Stupid. But of course, nothing to do with the environment. Obviously, if you push up the price of petrol, people drive less, and that will also offset for the environment. That golf club sport looks great, but is really worth the money when you could buy a load faster all-wheel drive cars like the Golf or Audi S3 or Focus RS for the same price. Correct, that is the problem. That is always going to be the problem as well, and that is down to our VRT there, Brian. Still makes me sick a little bit. Yeah, the Golf R is a gorgeous car, but it's going to eat fuel because it's four-wheel drive. Audi S3 is going to do the same thing. Focus RS is the car I would pick from that little list you just put up there a second ago, but it's still going to chew up all that fuel, whereas the Club Sport or the standard GTI is a two-wheel drive and it's going to be fine on fuel. Well, regular enough, like 9 litres, 8 litres, somewhere around there. On the issue, Irish car channels, there's a drought compared with other countries, although check out 074, which is based up in Donegal, mostly Japanese car reviews with more coming this year. There you are, 074 is an Irish car channel, seemingly. Sorry, Bob, meant the best subject in school. My best subject in school, I left school at 15. Are you kidding? Not at all. School? No. It's probably not allowed to get awareness. Don't be spamming. Your video is very good. Keep it up. I will, Jack, for as long as I possibly can. You can support me on patreon.com/the next gear. if you want to support the independence of this channel, so I don't have to report to anybody. Hi Bob, would you recommend a Japanese import 180 SX? What a car, 180 SX. God yeah, Sam. Oh man, that's horn making, that is there now. By the way, the Passat and the iX35 asked me by stepfather. 180 SX, just buy it, don't even think about it. Review the new Porsche Panamera or the Audi RS7. Why do people... I always find it a bit weird when someone wants me to review like a really high-end thing and they'll never buy it because it's never going to happen. So if the Audi bring in the RS7 or Porsche want to fly me over to the UK, Porsche permanently asked me to come over to the UK and spend a day driving their cars. But until someone puts their hand in their pocket and flies me to the UK, then Porsche can do whatever they want. I'll be there for the day. Bugatti Veyron engineering is amazing. It is, and it's probably because of that we have some really good cars at the moment. How did you find the Kodiaq? There is a video on my channel of the Kodiaq, me driving the thing, so have a look at that. I thought it's good, but I haven't had it for a whole week, so I can't tell you all the little intricate bits and things that I find out as time goes on over the week. That's what usually happens. I sit in, you kind of play with buttons and switches and stuff, and you go, well, that doesn't work. Why doesn't that work? But you don't find that out for a few days. You never find out in like a 20-minute drive. Ciao, Carl. I can never pronounce your name. I've seen you here before loads of times. There we go. Whatever that means, Zachary. Come on. Hey, Bob from Texas. Where do you pick the cars up from? Distributor manufacturers. Are their rules strict? They don't really have any rules other than don't kill yourself or crash the car wherever possible. But that's just like standard rules. I picked them up from manufacturers, really. Kind of like a carpool thing. We all go to one spot and pick up our cars. So it's different cars all the time. It's like 3-4 cars a week if I wanted to. There's enough cars doing that, and I'm the vice chair on the APMP, which helps choose the Irish Car of the Year every year. So that I had to organise that again this year. It's coming, and Irish Van of the Year. Although I don't really do vans much. I take it that is Australia. Bought an ML Merc after your review. Best car I've ever had. Incredibly economical, even when towing. Same about the operated previous Subaru Libre. Subaru never been fuel economy. So Gary, you're absolutely bang on. Your Mercedes ML will definitely do a better job at fuel economy than a Subaru, which Subarus are crap. Well, not crap, but they're good for a purpose if you've got a purpose. Hey Bob, would you buy a VW Jetta or an Audi A3 Saloon? Oh, good God, stay away from the Jetta, Justin. God, get an A3 Saloon, definitely. Jetta is just boring. I know it's a horrible thing to say, and I know Volkswagen don't ever like anyone say it, but it is a Golf with a boot, but it's very boring even to look at. Unless you spend the money and get all the lowering things or big alloys or whatever, then it looks okay, but you could just do that. An A3 Saloon is just gorgeous to look at, just at the base level. Okay, moderator, no problem. I'm looking for at the A4 Avant or A5 Sportback or A6 as a family car. Which do you suggest? I love your question, Dave. Which Audi, a 4, a 5, or a 6 should I buy? A4 Avant or A5 Sportback. Family car, the A6 is going to be best. A4 is a tiny bit tight in the back seat. Avant is good. You just get more cubic space. It's not a longer boot than the Saloon, which is kind of weird. But I would go for the A6 DSG 2-litre diesel wherever possible. Or if you want to go mad, go buy a bi-turbo diesel, which would be really good. Jens, hi. You've been moaning a lot about the Irish VAT system on cars. Tell us, not Irish, what the problem is. If the VAT was lowered on cars, would it be raised everywhere else? Okay, so in Ireland, back in the 80s, dealers felt under massive pressure because a couple of reports came out that showed that you could go to Amsterdam and you could buy a right-hand drive car for like $5,000 less than you could buy at a dealership here, right? And they were terrified that the whole country would just woof over to Amsterdam and no one would have a dealership here. And so Fianna Fáil, Bertie Ahern, he was the Taoiseach at the time, in his infinite wisdom brought in a thing called VRT. It's called Vehicle Registration Tax. So it is illegal for a European country to tax another thing coming in from another European country in a special way. And so I can go buy a fridge in Germany and just come here to Ireland and plug it in the story. Technically, I should be able to buy all of my plumbing online and even employ a French plumber to come over here and fit the thing if I wanted to. But not with cars. I could go buy a car in the UK, I could buy a car in Germany, but as soon as I landed back here in Ireland, I have to pay vehicle registration tax for an Irish license plate. And that is a percentage of the value of the car here. And so it's like an illegal tax that just uses a loophole to not be illegal. If you got rid of VRT in the morning, you would devalue every single car in the market by the level of VRT. There's a lot of profit in VRT. Here's a good tip for you. If you buy a car here in Ireland and you sell it in the UK, you can export it to the UK and claim back the VRT off it. That's a very big business in Ireland at the moment. That's why we're so short of second-hand cars. But also, we not only get charged VRT to register the car, but we charge VAT, which is value added tax, on top of that bloody tax again. So we pay tax on the double. And then we pay motor tax. And then we pay VAT on motor tax. And then we pay VAT on insurance. And we pay VAT on petrol. And we pay a special rate, an import duty on fuel as well. So it just gets out of hand very quickly. Driving in Ireland is very expensive. Are you going to the new Audi A8 unveil in Barcelona in July? I have no idea. Nobody's asked me to, so I don't think so, no. I'm going to some Suzuki thing soon. And then I'm going to Norway for something else. Or is it Norway? I'm going somewhere for something anyway. Range Rover autobiography or a Bentley Bayatanga. A Range Rover autobiography. Don't even think about buying a Bentley. You are going to be broke no matter how expensive. No matter how much money you have, you're going to be broke in a Bentley. I say keep the tax, but make it fairer. 07 Lexus 300 hybrid is a €1,500. Just mad. That doesn't make any sense either, Saloon, because you see, you're still making a double tax on things. You're still taxing twice. My car goes for an NCT. In the NCT, they check the CO2 rating out the back. I should pay the same tax as a 2016 Seat Leon, or whatever it should be. What's your favourite car? I don't really have one single favourite car. Cars that I would buy would be like a Volkswagen California or an Audi A6 bi-turbo or a BMW 640 diesel. They're kind of favourite cars, but they're normal cars. I just bought an Audi RS6. Is it even any good? You should know. If you just bought an RS6, you should know if it's any good. It is good, but only at high speed. They're kind of boring. Don't get me wrong, all Audis are kind of boring because they're just so grippy and safe and stuff. You really got to be moving fast in Audi to have fun. Best small car hybrid, Bob. I saw your review of the Audi RS hybrid considered the Lexus. Don't buy the Lexus CT200H. That's not a good car. I kind of like the Kia Niro, which is quite a nice little hybrid thing. I love the Prius. Very good. Prius is really good. They're about the only two hybrids I can think of at the moment. Proper hybrids. Toyota's going to be up more. I'll tell you what's really CRH hybrid. I just forgot about that for a second. That's one of the best looking cars in the market. It's great to have a channel that reviews ordinary everyday cars that most people would afford, Bob. Yeah, I know. I do try and review everything that's given to me. They don't always be ordinary, but at least they're reasonable things. Zachary, fair enough, Bob. Do you reckon the diesel is worth €2,600 difference here in New Zealand? Jesus, 2,600 quid. Whoa, no. After doing the math, the petrol only costs €150 a month. You see, that's, once you start looking at the mathematical end of stuff, a petrol always works out better. It really does. Or a hybrid will work out better. There's no question. Diesels should be very special things. Diesels are for trucks, vans. Lads claim back VAT and stuff on diesel, so that works out for the commercial reasons, or very long range. So if you're driving from here to Cork and you're doing it quite regularly and that's your thing, you're stuck on a motorway, then diesel works out nicely. Did you watch Harry's Garage? No, I don't know what Harry's Garage is. My friend is part of a mountain rescue. They need to change their Land Rover and can't afford another Land Rover. Any suggestions? Need to be good off-road and take the stretcher in the back. You're going to have a problem. Anything that's good off-road is really expensive. And I mean really good off-road. Land Rovers are only good off-road. The older ones are. But I don't know if the newer ones are any better. I mean, you go out to Australia there and ask them about Land Rover, and they'll just laugh you out of the room. It's Land Cruiser. That's it. Toyota Land Cruiser is the only way. But a Toyota Land Cruiser cost you 100 grand in Ireland, so they ain't cheap. Surely Mountain Rescue should be able to raise some money to get a brand new whatever they want to get, or at least get one donated from somebody. Most of the modern limited slip differential stuff is actually pretty good off road, but the guys who specialise in it are Toyota, are Land Rover, are Audi, BMW. They have serious off-roaders that can be in the middle of that. Mercedes also have like the G-Wagon and stuff. They have massive off-roaders. But unless you're up at that level, then as mountain rescue goes, you need something that's able to climb a mountain like a mountain goat. And really, Land Rover Defender's going to be doing anything to do that. Is it just me, or is anyone else's video freezing every now and then here today? I haven't seen anyone else complain, Brian, so I'm not too sure. Dave Hurley did. Yes, Dave Hurley got a little bit of freeze there at some point. So, I don't know, maybe my connection is not the best today. Claiming the VRT back is a complete nightmare and trying to do it on my R32 GTR. Persist, Lee. Persist. You will get the VRT back eventually. What do you think of the new VW Tiguan? I love the Tiguan. I think the Tiguan's a really, really nice car, but it ain't cheap. Like anything in that segment, it ain't cheap. And it's not exciting, but it is still a good car though. So there's a few people saying it's freezing. If it's still freezing now, it's 40 minutes in, so it shouldn't be freezing anymore. Like, maybe got interference from something there along the way. Only do about 15,000 kilometers a year, so I guess petrol is definitely the way to go. It is, definitely, yes. Those seats look comfortable. What are you sat in? This is a Mazda 3. And they're not really that comfortable. They're alright, yeah, but not really that comfortable, no. 2017 Hyundai i20 or 2017 Kia Rio. I have a preference for the Kia Rio. I don't know why, because they're basically the same car. But the Kia Rio would I'd feel better about a Kia Rio. Oh, sorry, yeah, Harry's Garage. I never looked at it. No, I never got the chance to look at it. I have to write down Harry's Garage. I'm going to put it in my laptop now and see if I can find Harry's Garage, right? Let's put in a very long password first, though. Live feeds have the buffer freezing normal. Yeah, I've very little other reasons to freeze. I have a very high-end connection on this thing, so it's usually pretty good. And Land Cruiser's ruled out back here, bulletproof, but bloody expensive nowadays. What's that red? Very bad connection has suddenly appeared at the top of the screen. Why is that? Oh, you know what? I think the laptop is actually tearing the arse out of the Wi-Fi somehow. But it is working, still working, so don't worry. We're okay, we're still on. Just freezing a little bit now. We'll get through this freezing bit. It'll be fine. And it's funny, that freezing only came up now as soon as I turned on my laptop. That's very weird. So I'm going to shut down the laptop, get rid of that, because that's obviously pulling on some connection somewhere. So on the way back, don't worry, we'll get going again. I need a drink. It still says very bad connection, strangely. And the laptop is now shut down. Anyway, we'll struggle through. It's coming back, slowly but surely. Hopefully. Did you ever get the flex follow up the Lexus IS300 fuel economy? Can't find it. Thanks. Lexus IS300H, all hybrid cars do really badly on fuel economy on motorways, and that's generally what happens to all these things. But it'll be okay. It depends on what your expectation of fuel economy is. Mine is about 40 miles a gallon is pretty good, or you want about 7 to 6 litres per 100 kilometres, somewhere around there. If you're getting that kind of level, then you're okay. Don't forget to click like. Click that like button, which would be really good. And please, if you could check out patreon.com/thenextgear and donate whatever you can, it would be absolutely brilliant. It would ensure the survival of my independence on this channel. New A5 or last generation A5, apart from the new tech, the old A5 is better looking and way better. I don't agree. I think the new A5 is better looking than the older one, but it's such a subtle difference. You kind of have to study it. You have to study the really sharp edges on things. But if you can get a good deal on the older A5, then there's nothing stopping you buying that one. Bob, what's the Mitsubishi Outlander Phev like? Is it any use off-road as four-wheel drive? No, it's used as off-road. But it's a Mitsubishi, so it will be able to go off-road, but don't expect it to be going up and down the side of mountains. But the Phev is a really good idea. But other companies will come and do a proper job on it at the moment, because Mitsubishi are struggling and will continue probably to struggle for quite some time with sales. Mitsubishi tend to stick into corporate sales. So they sell Jeeps to the army, to the guards, you know, they sell those kind of big open contract stuff. Whereas the Phev one was meant to be a version for Irish market, but it's expensive. It ain't cheap, and that's the problem. 2009 to 2012 Passat CC. I do like the Passat CC. It's one of my favourite all-time looking cars. You're basically buying a Passat anyway, underneath, just different exterior to it. And the interior is 4-seat rather than 5-seat. Gorgeous looking car. The freezing should have stopped now. I'm seeing perfect connection up the top again. 72 likes, which is great. Thank you very much for clicking the like button. Which is better? Which is better? The new 1-litre turbo petrol in terms of fuel economy? No, all the worst claim figures. 1-litre turbo in what? A 1-litre engine will never do well on a motorway. Just won't, no matter what it is, because it can't. Just engineering-wise, the amount of room needed for pistons to go up and down isn't the same in a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder, whatever it is. So it has to work really, really hard at higher speeds. But around town, a 1-litre tends to be much lighter than a petrol or a diesel, and so it tends to do much better over short spurts. So running between traffic lights or just driving through small town cities, whatever. But on a motorway, it'll be murdered. So any 1-litre petrol car is going to do badly on a motorway, but will do better in town. So it depends on your daily driving. The next big thing that's coming is going to be the final mile. You'll find now that like electric scooters are going to be put into the boots of cars as standard practice, which is going to be brilliant. That'll be the crack. It'll be 90 on that. You won't be able to get written off on electric scooters. But they'll have to do something because cars are starting to get banned from city centre, and it's brilliant. Brilliant. You don't know yourself until you've walked around a city centre with no cars. It's brilliant. But once they're banned, people still have to get from where they are to where they're going. So that's where these electric scooters will come in the boot of cars and stuff. It'll be a good crack though. My favourite car is a McLaren 570 or Mark 1 Honda NSX. Give me the Honda NSX any day. McLaren 570, nah, wouldn't hold no interest. The Honda will start every day. You could drive the Honda every day and you could actually start and run and go every single day. McLaren 570 would require a heated garage just to start the thing up. So, no thanks. I've said it before, I've always seen Seat as the poor man's Alfa Romeo. Have you seen the facelift to Seat Leon? Looks stunning and way nicer than Giulietta. Don't know if it's nice. It's nicer than Giulietta. I thought you were Julia there for a minute. It's nicer than Giulietta, yes. Seat are hamstringed. They're like an Achilles heel is the fact that they're attached to Volkswagen. It saves them because they have money, but it also hampers them because they can't make a better car than Volkswagen. And I always got the impression that the Leon, that Seat go, let's make a Leon, and it's brilliant. And then all these guys appear from Volkswagen going, no, that's too good. You'll have to turn it all down. And that's kind of what happens, I think, to Seats. I always get the feeling they could do so much better. Why are used Vauxhall Opel Astra so cheap? That's a good question, Stuart. Because there's so many of them. And because the two names. So, like, it's the only car that you see in Ireland that you know has come from the UK when you see Vauxhall written on it. Straight away. I know a few people who own Vauxhalls, Astra and Insignias and things, and they're UK imports, and they're great. And there's no problem with them. So, you know, that's life, though. But the only reason they're so cheap is just because there's lots of them on the market. Hey, Bob, what's the best new car to buy this year? We don't know yet. The car of the year last year was a Mercedes E-Class. I still stand over the E-Class being a spectacularly good car. In every respect, but if it's out of your price range, there is a bit of a problem there, especially if you can't afford a double glazing on it. So far this year, I have enjoyed all of the small cars, particularly the Suzuki Ignis, which stands out in my mind as being a car that just really sticks with me. So we have a few more cars to come this year. There's a couple of new Suzukis. New Swift is on the way as well. I noticed some international reviews of that as well. I watched some English bloke review one yesterday. They did a really good job on a review of hers. Which is better, Skoda Kodiaq or new Tiguan? I would go with Kodiaq because there's 7 seats in the Kodiaq and the Tiguan is only 5. And the Kodiaq would be slightly cheaper, believe it or not, than the Tiguan. Sorry, what was this now? I missed the answer due to the freezing. Okay, so a red A4 Avant, A5 Seba or Saloon, family car. So you were the one with the A6 Saloon as a family car. Yes, the A6, pick the A6, Dave. The Avant on the A4 is going to be slightly cheaper, but you're going to lose a lot of space there in the middle of it is. And the A5 is only got like 4 real seats, so I wouldn't worry about that part. Just buy an A6. Kodiaq for value and space. Yes, you're right, Zachary. Definitely break down on the M50 and pull out your electric scooter. This is true. I'm telling you. That's what the final mile is going to be the biggest. The biggest thing that's going to be left over from anything right now is this idea that we have another mile to go before we're finished, right? Or the final kilometre, final this destination, whatever it's going to be. So being able to park 2 or 3 miles from somewhere and then take a little electric scooter in is going to solve that problem straight away. So that's how we're going to end up with scooters in the boot of the cars, for sure. But there is a legal issue, of course. Sorry, I'm not showing you my wire. I'm just going to plug in my power into this thing. I have a problem with charging at the moment. Every time I plug in the charger, it doesn't necessarily start charging straight away. It's like it doesn't fit anymore. I don't know why. Anyway, no matter. We're plugged in now. Let's go. Go back. So many questions. Which is best for fuel economy? 1 litre turbo from Vauxhall, Ford, VW, or Hyundai? If they're 1 litres, they're all going to be about the same. The weight of a car is the enemy. That weight is the enemy of everything. And weight is the solution to everything as well. So don't forget that. The lighter the car, the faster it's going to be, the more fuel economy it's going to put out. All that goes up, but the worse the handling becomes. So the lighter, the worse the handling is. The heavier the car is, the worse everything becomes, but not the handling. So I know that sounds really, really weird, but that's just the truth. That's just the way life is, I'm afraid. Sorry, just plugging in that thing now. Hi Bob, recently purchased a 13 Kia Sportage based on one of your online reviews. Must say it doesn't disappoint. Good stuff, I'm glad to hear that. You're not out to get me. Nice bit of space for expanding family and nice frugal on fuel too. It is certainly, Kia Sportage is really nice. One of my favourite all-time designs of the exterior of a car is that model, Kia Sportage you have. I'd never really found a downside. Other than right now it would look very dated interior compared to the brand new stuff that's out right this minute, but things are moving very fast. Interiors date very quickly. So it should last you for at least the 7 years. Say it really need a sport halo model, a sporty coupe, a bit like an Alfa Brett. Yeah, I would say that. They need something to kick them up the arse a bit and get cars, instead of concentrating on fleet sales like say it usually do, they need to concentrate on the Cooper, the top end models, which I know they're here, but creating desire around them seems to be a problem. I mean, Golf GTI has much more desire, and yet the Cupra is faster than it around the track, and it's cheaper than it. Weird. You need to be a rich man to pay the repair bills now for a Mayo. Give me a say it any day. Thanks. I know that's true. A lot of people go on about this Alfa Romeos. I haven't seen a broke down Alfa Romeo in years. Old ones, yeah. New ones, nah, you probably won't. My daughter's bought a Ford Fiesta 1 litre EcoBoost. I drive a big 3 litre diesel Merc. I've been in her Fiesta. I'm quite surprised how capable it is on motorway and town. Top marks for Ford. It's true, they do well. It's just fuel economy is the only thing they suffer. It won't suffer in cruisability and getting there at top speeds and all this sort of stuff. It's just the fuel economy. It just has to work. You watch the rev counter. It'll sit up like a 3,500 RPM flying along a motorway, and that'll kill you. Gotta go, Bob. See you on the flip side. See you, Sam. Have you ever experienced an old Ford Transit? How old? Yes, I have, but how old? Depends how far back you want to go. I've driven everything from Mark 1s, Mark 2, Mark 4, and the more recent stuff. So, yeah, old Ford Transits. It's Ford Transit. They all get bet. Have you picked up another job since leaving 103? No, I have an agent, not at all. I am reviewing for another publication very soon, but that's not really a job. I mean, it's not really like a full-time thing. Bob, current Passat or Superb? Superb is bigger than the Passat, but the Passat is more stylish, much more stylish, and much more kudos, Colin. So, you know, Volkswagen does do well, and the Passat is gorgeous looking to look at. So I would take the Passat, given a choice of the spec being basically the same. I would take the Passat. What's the best car you've ever driven? I don't know. Depends on your definition of best. The most fun I ever had in the car was an Aston Martin DB9 on a Cannonball Run here in Ireland, which is the best crack I had in my entire life. When is Tesla opening in Sandyford, and will they be selling second-hand stock? Thanks, Father Bob. Column F, it is opening, I think it's opening next week, but it's open to the press on Wednesday or something, Tuesday or Wednesday. And so I'm going to tip up there. I'll be there on Wednesday, and I'm driving the cars. I'll be driving the 2 Teslas they've got over here, and I'm going to test the autopilot and all that sort of thing as well, and do a video from that. So, but I think it's actually open to the public the week after, or maybe the same week or something. I don't know about second-hand stock. The problem, big issue for Tesla is secondhand stock. Nobody's selling the things. Like nobody's jumping up and down going, I want to sell my Tesla. How much was it worth? No one knows exactly what's going on with the old Tesla stuff. So I don't know the answer to that question, really. But secondhand stock, I hope, well, hopefully they'll bring in secondhand stock into Ireland, because 100 grand for a brand new Tesla is not something that I could ever kind of see myself recommending to every one of you out there. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes of that. I just think Seat have the Latin flair and the hot-blooded image that Alpha also has. Are you viewing the 2017 Ibiza? I will when I get around to it. Amazing looking car, quite capable of judging by the first impression. If it's anything like the current old Ibiza, it'd be brilliant. Seat do a good job, as best as they can. Ireland is not their market, I don't think. Ireland is a secondary market for them. I think the primary market is Spain. If you go over to Spain, you see nothing but Seats everywhere. The biggest problem Seat have is the dealers. Their customer service is dire. After 4 years off service mystery on my Leon FR, I found an independent specialist who does miles better. Well done, Matt. I don't know. I've dealt with a couple of Seat dealers. That didn't be all right. But then a lot of the dealers, the problem I have is if I go to a dealership, the chances are the dealership knows me or knows that I review cars. They'll see me, because some of the videos I make are used in dealer conferences and things to show what press does and all that sort of thing. So it's always an issue for me. I get treated really nice and I just go, God, these guys are really nice. But actually just been really nice because they're afraid I'm going to say that they're not nice. S-Tronic or manual on the Audi A6? S-Tronic is a bit of a meh for me. I prefer the proper DSG. Don't go manual though on an Audi A6, okay? You'll never sell the thing. It's so hard to sell manuals in those kind of Audi stuff, right? So, sorry, we're freezing here again, I think. For some reason, bad connection. Someone must be turning something on in the area that's murdering. It's not my laptop, just shut down completely, so never beside me. Just wait for that connection to come back up again. Don't fret. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. It's all coming. I think somebody must be turning something on in the area that's hurting the connection somewhere, or downloading something gigantic off my connection. I don't think so though, somehow. Hey, there we go. Power in now. Still heaps of connection problems. Sorry now, people. Connection problems. Still have major connection problems here. Okay, we seem to be back again. The connection has come back up again, which is good. Okay. Andy K, question A. What is the legal issue you mentioned with manufacturers selling electric scooters with their cars here? Do you think it'll catch on in Ireland with our weather, 50% chance of rain? There's no such thing as bad weather. There's inappropriate clothing. That's the very first thing, right? So if Ireland, I'm 45. It's rained pretty much every year since I've been born. So like, worrying about weather and rain and stuff is a waste of time. But I ride skateboards, so if I ride a skateboard and it's raining, trouble straight away. The wheels don't turn the way they should do, and there's all sorts of problems with that as well. So there is an issue with weather, but we'll get over that one. That's not a big deal. The legal issue is, if a car company supplies me with an electric scooter, are they liable if I crash it? Or are they willing to put up with the problem of, well, we gave you a scooter and I crashed it, now it's your fault? So that's not really a legal issue, but who's insured and what's insured by it? Is it a motor propelled thing? If so, does it require road tax? This is a proper question as well. So there's a lot of questions attached to that one, Andy K, but not a lot of answers coming at the moment, because car companies move very slowly in this country versus everybody else. Just looked at the 2017 Ibiza there. Very nice, all right. A good improvement over the style takes, especially the back. Yeah, it is. It's a very pretty car. Very nice little thing. Cheap car that makes you want to drive. Anything small. So if a car has to struggle, it's fun. I know that sounds really bad, but a 1 litre Nissan Micra at full chat can be more fun than a 3-litre Audi at slow speeds, because it just has to struggle, has to work so hard to go anywhere. I would probably, you know what a car I really like is, there was a 100 horsepower Fiat Panda you could get. It had lower suspension and alloys and stuff. Such a pretty car. That's the kind of car I'd be thinking of. Small yokes. Alan asks, Bob, do you trust the autopilot system that will become very common in cars? No, you're still freezing. Freezing should have stopped now. But do I trust the autopilot? Yeah, you know, it's my job to test it, so I have to trust it. If they say it works, it should work. If I crash, it's because I'm crashing on your behalf. And so, yeah, I'm prepared to put up with the fear and what it's like and what's the experience behind the autopilot system. I don't know if I trust it 100% yet, but, you know, we'll get there. I don't know if I trust Irish. Look, you drive an EM50, you watch a guy go from lane 4 to lane 0 in one sweep without even turning on an indicator, and you think, can an autopilot deal with that? No, you can't even predict what a human's going to do. So if an autopilot makes me safer, guards me from that, brilliant. If it doesn't, then, you know, it's worthless. Why would anyone buy a Golf over a Leon? I can't understand why you'd buy an Octavia over a Golf. It's bigger. The Leon looks so much nicer than the Golf. There's brand things going on there. There's, you know, some people just don't like a brand and they won't go in with it. Some people like to have the idea that they drive a Golf, you know, it's the best car in the market and all that stuff. You're still on. I know I'm still on. It's just free. It's freezing and coming back. It's coming back and coming back, and it'll get there. Plenty of time. It's okay. We're only 60 minutes in. Somebody's interfering with the bandwidth. Yes, someone in the area here is turning something on, and it's messing up the whole lot. But anyway, it'll be okay. What car do you own now? Say it, Leon. That black thing there is my actual car. What do you think about Sky Active engine performance? It's a great word, Marcio, Sky Active, but it just means that everything is slightly lighter in the car. I find the performance of this particular 2-litre gasoline engine isn't very good. It doesn't accelerate very well. It seems to be down on power a lot, and it's not very fuel efficient. So I'm not too sure it works. I prefer to have the diesel version of this one, but, you know, each to his own. I also find the interior of the Mazda right now a little bit boring, just a little bit. So that's a hard one to deal with as well, because I literally got out of some of the highest technology cars over the last few weeks to get into this, which is more of a basic engine car. But it's okay. Sky Active is a good idea, and like weighing nuts and bolts and screws and things, it seems like a brilliant idea, but I don't know. Load review on a SsangYong Rexton. Did I? Did I review a SsangYong? Oh, I did review a SsangYong. That's right, yeah, I didn't forget about that. Terrible, I forgot about it. Golf interior is different at level compared to the Leon, that's why. That's correct, it is. Love reviews, mate. Keep it coming. I will do, Woody. Can't beat slow car fast Bob. James Maida has 100 horsepower handle. See, there you go. That's all you want. Is you don't need a lot of horsepower to have a lot of fun. The fun comes from trying to do something that the car is not necessarily capable of doing. Any idiot could drive an Audi R8 really, really fast, right? Anyone could do it. Anyone could drive any of the AMG stuff from Mercedes really fast, because that's what they're designed to do. Now try and do that in a Ford Mustang, or try and do that in something even smaller. It goes down to a Fiat Panda, or it goes down to like a Nissan Micra or something from years ago. You go down to that level and it becomes much more difficult, but much more of a task to do, and that's the fun of the whole lot. I think a scooter would be an optional extra that you will have to order. Your problem is you fall off. That's true, yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind a little electric scooter, because I ride skateboard, so a scooter's not that hard. Hi, Bob. I replaced my 2003 Volkswagen 1.8 Turbo. Oh, good engine. Shame it's gone. Passat Sport later on this year with something better in every single way. Actually, everything you said there, every car would be better in every single way. Just thought I'd say that. Take the sting out of it straight away for you, Adrian, because every single car is more fuel efficient and higher horsepower, better torque, and all sorts of stuff since 2003. Any thoughts about a 2008 Audi B8 A4 2-litre TFSI, 211 horsepower, 350 newton meters in manual? Yeah, it does. 350 newton meters is a good chunk for a 2-litre TFSI. You'll feel it. You'll feel that pressure back in the seat. I'd be dubious at the average consumption of 6.6 litres per 100 kilometres. I really, really would. I would say that's very difficult. Under certain circumstances you'll get it. But, you know, it's a good car. You're going the right direction. A4, a little bit tight in the back seat. A little bit tight on the opening of a Saloon A4. But I'd have no problem with that engine. It's an epic engine. The thing will go forever, that's for sure. It's funny you mentioned the Panda 100 horsepower. I'm thinking of trading my 2008 Fiat Grande Punto 1.2 for one. Would you suggest? Yes, I would. Get out of the Punto. Punto's horrible. The older the Punto, the better. Funny enough, but the Grande Punto, you will never look back if you go from a Punto to a Panda. I guarantee you'll never look back at the Punto again. A question about the Ignis. The weight is around 900 kgs, so I wanted to know, what do you think of its highway performance, and does the weight of the car matter? Yes, weight of a car. So simple mathematics. Weight of a car is everything. Okay, if a car is heavy, it handles better. You can put bigger engines in it because it's heavier. When you turn in on a corner, it understeers, it oversteers, it feels active and alive. When a car is lighter, there's better fuel economy, but you can't put bigger engines in it. It has to be smaller engines in it. Or you have to lighten everything inside the car to make it do what you want it to do. But it handles better, it'll have faster acceleration, it'll have more torque. And this is without actually changing anything in the car. You're literally just making the thing lighter. It would be better in every possible way. So when you have something that's very light versus something that's very heavy, it has to be, you have to figure out what you want from it. Like you look at a Bentley, any of the big Bentleys, they're all massively heavy. You're talking about a 3-ton car. But yet it has massive acceleration and performance. They're very, very good. But it comes at a cost of everything else. Fuel economy, handling, everything else has to suffer to carry that weight, that luxury weight. You go to the other end of the scale to a Suzuki Ignis, and your 0 to 60 time is huge, comparatively speaking, but you're connected to everything. The noise inside the car, it's fun, it's good crack to drive, it's always great to have a little bit of spin around, and it's able to carry all the family in it as well, which is really good. So, Abriev Hadgar, that's hopefully the answer to your question. Its highway performance or its open motorway performance is like anything else, but it's got a small engine, so that small engine is always going to suffer a little bit on the motorway. If you spend most of your time on the motorway, you need a bigger engine. Any thoughts on a new Honda Civic? I do, Vinny. I don't have a thought on... Look, Honda's usually very clever, but yet they got rid of the magic seats out of the new Honda Civic. That was number one. And number two, it's weird looking. It just is. I can't get my head around the look of the new Honda Civic. I mean, it's Honda. It's going to be good. I don't really mind. Honda's usually good about everything. So my expectation is high on how good it's going to be. But it's on the back foot from the looks of it. Just the way it looks weird. Ross, what are your thoughts on a new drug driving test? I saw that somebody tested positive because of their medication. Yeah. You know what? That's a false positive, and that's okay. They test positive on the roadside, then you follow that up with a proper test on the side. It's a bit like drink driving. It's not as clear cut as drink driving. That would be the major problem. I don't know who that child is in the background, by the way. It's not as clear cut as alcohol driving. So all alcohol is bad. Drug driving is a different thing entirely. So it had to be done. You had too many people out there who are taking marijuana and smoking it and feeling really dopey. And I know, look, marijuana's no harm. It's no big deal to smoke marijuana. But if you smoke enough of the thing, you're stupid in the brain. You're slow, you're sluggish, and that's never a good combination when you're traveling along at 100 miles an hour on the road. Okay? So anything that impairs your judgment, anything that impairs you and your reaction time as a driver should be banned from driving. And you should be able to ban it on your own. You should be smart enough as a driver not to do it. Because there are stupid people out there who aren't smart enough to do it, we need to have tests on the side of the road for both drugs and alcohol. So no problem with the drug driving for me. I wouldn't do it. I was down in Limerick the other night. I had a few drinks as well, and I stayed an extra 2 hours in a hotel. I made sure I was okay. I felt okay. I drank plenty of coffee, plenty of water when I got up the next morning, and I didn't leave straight away. So I made sure I sobered up completely. That was just no drugs involved whatsoever. It's just alcohol. Thanks a lot, man. I've tested my Mazda 2 before buying my 1.25. Great engine, that 1.25. It's a deadly little engine. It was put in from Ford, put that engine. It was a great thing. i20 was a lot slower than the Korean car. Yeah, Mazda 2 was a great little car. Really good little car. All generations of it as well. Yeah, most generations of it as well. How about the running going, Bob? If you're ever going down Tramore way, give me a shout and do some lovely running routes on there. Deadly. I will certainly, Adrian. I have no idea. I know tonight I have to do the running Virgin Media Marathon 10k or something is on it. I'm doing the night marathon. I'm doing that with Paddy for the run gear. I was running a couple of days ago in Cork, which is really nice to run in. God, Cork was so pleasant to run around. Big city, loads of places to look at and run and do, but it never really felt like I was being crammed into a corner like you do in Dublin. But yes, certainly, Adrian, keep in touch. BobFlav at thenextgear.com. Send me an email. If I ever get down to more, we'll go for a spin on foot. New cars seem to be programmed to be numb. They kind of need to be. People are not good drivers anymore. People are not intelligent drivers. Nobody wants that photograph on the front page of a newspaper that shows an upside down car on the side of the road and was killed because there was speed and the brand of the car, there was a Ford Mondeo or a Volvo. Nobody wants that anymore. So nobody wants anyone to die in a car crash anymore. So the problem is they have to make them numb because people are not very good drivers anymore and nobody wants to go on an advanced driving course. Hi Bob, was it worth? Don't know what the end of that question was going to be. I'm so intrigued by your opinion on the Grande Punto. What was the best of your opinion? Punto Sporting was a great thing. That was a good car. Little yellow one, crazy little engine, thing would just drive all day long. It was good crack. But all other Puntos were designed as sort of hire cars, rental cars. So they're good cars, but it's just compared to the stuff that's out now, they're pretty boring. First time here, how often do you live stream? Also worth getting the S-Tronic or an A6 or a manual? Get the S-Tronic, do not go for a manual in an Audi A6. This was only going to happen for one Sunday, but I got such a humongous response from it. I did it the following week. In the following week, I said I'd never do it again, and I got these letters of protest that said I had to do it every single week, every Sunday. It was crazy not to. People, so I do this kind of every Sunday at 2 o'clock, GMT. So people listen to this as a podcast, and it's kind of weird to think of this. People stream it in cars on their way to work, and they go running and they listen to the whole thing, and it's kind of funny. So a lot of the times, who's actually here now are not going to be here for the whole 2 hours, but they will listen to the whole thing again. So it's kind of weird. So I'll do it until either you get bored or I get bored. I'm not too sure. Sorry, I hit enter accidentally. I thought you might. I want to know if you think it's worth to buy a new Dacia for a very cheap price or an older used car, more power and better interior. Do you really want a brand new car? You have to really want a brand new car to buy into the Dacia thing. And I know Dacias are really good, really reliable. They mobilized economies. They've created massive jobs, massive employment over in Romania. They've done all those kind of things, which is fabulous for them. And they're not bad cars. I kind of like the Sandero. Don't have a problem with that. Don't really like the Duster or any of them. But Sandero is pretty good. Honest little cars. But if I was getting out of a 2008 or 2009 or even my own 2006, you'd see it. You'd get into this new car and you'd feel good about being in a new car. If you're in 2012, 2013, 14, anywhere in that region, you'd have to really want a brand new car to go for a Dacia, right? So I would advise to have a look at an older car with more power, and if you can get a good spec, get it. But if you're in a very old car already, then step up to a Dacia, no problem with that, because it's very reasonably priced at that rate. Why manufacturers don't deal with tyre noise but reduce only wind noise now? Because they don't make tyres. That would be the main thing. Car manufacturers don't really make most of the things you see inside a car. They're made by contractors. And tyres for cars that are supplied brand new on cars are done in mass produce. So they, like, you can imagine supplying all the tyres for all of the Volkswagen Golf 7s that have been sold for the last 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. It's an amazing amount of tyres sold. So they have to you can either have, so this is the only two ways you can do this with tyres, right? You can either have really good grip or really quiet. Or you can have really quiet and good fuel economy, or really grippy and bad fuel economy. They're the kind of two things you can do with a tyre. So if you want something that's grippy and sporty and nice, you have to suffer the fuel economy. If you want noise, if you want something that's nice and quiet and gets around like a Toyota Prius, you have to suffer on the grip, and that means making the tires thinner. The Civic is over-designed, too many weird folds and creases, far too many, designed for the American market, presumably. That's what I was thinking as well. It looks like an American car, lots of lines and things. But Hondas always were, but lots of stuff. This is a great show. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Vinny. It's been going for the last few weeks. You can see every one of the episodes I've done so far are actually on my channel. So we go through them. They're all called Sunday Service, I think. Maybe not the first one, because I didn't know it was going to be called Sunday Service, but now they're all called Sunday Service. What fun car would you suggest for around £2,000 to £3,000? Can anything beat a Panda horsepower? Not fun. Yeah, you will pick up other stuff like Galanzas, Toyota Galanzas and things, and they will keep going. They'll be ragged to pieces, but they'll still be fun. If you want a car to drive every single day, you could do worse than a Peugeot 206. You want to go way back. And if you get a 206 GTI, all the better. What else could you get around that kind of money, around that kind of price to be small and nippy? Let me come back to that one. I'll put some more thought in that. What do you think is going to win, petrol or diesel? Which do you prefer? Neither of them are going to win. We're going to find another fuel source because we are currently just feeding the Arabs money for the amount of fuel we have. We should be investing in hydrogen and electric and getting those cars up to standard and not having 100 grand Teslas out there. We should have like a 10 grand car, 15 grand car, all electric, all doing their job. But we're terrified. We don't put enough pressure on. We think petrol diesel is the only way out. What really will happen is my petrol car will survive another 10 years. I put it in the garage and it'll survive another 10 years after that. It'll be a vintage car. It'll be brilliant. And I'll be driving an electric car or I'll be driving a hydrogen car. So neither petrol or diesel will win. It'll just come down. They're both doomed because it's just burning dinosaurs. And eventually it has to run out anyway. Whether it's peak oil or not, I don't care. It's still going to run out. Really loved your Just Say Yes video. I'm taking advice since watching it. Good man, Lee. I thought that video would actually do a lot better. I thought I'd get millions of hits. People should be really sharing that and showing everybody what that means. It's difficult to explain what it means to say Just Say Yes. You should go watch the video. Don't forget to click that like button, wherever that like button is on your screen there. And subscribe to the channel as well, will you? Just subscribe, will you? Click the subscribe button. For God's sake, I should have hundreds of subscribers from these live streams because hundreds of you watch this. Have you tried any of the automated manual transmissions? I tried, there was a couple of Citroen ones which made me seasick, I have to say. The robotized gearbox is another word for it. So basically what it is a manual gearbox and they've removed the clutch from the car. So it still clutches, but it automatically clutches. And there's this lag. When you accelerate, there's this and it makes you seasick after a bit. Stay away from them. They're useless. Every second person has a phone in their hand while driving. People have stopped watching the road. You are absolutely correct. In my video this morning that I put out, which is the Golf GTI Close Sport, you see me point out an ambulance driver who was driving the opposite direction to me, and the ambulance driver had a phone up against his ear like that, driving along. And these are the guys who clean up the mess of other people have been on the phone. Stay off the phone when you're driving, and don't drive like this. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? These guys who are looking down there because they're looking at a tweet or something while they're driving on the road. You're mad. Look out the window. There's more to see out there anyway. Great show as usual, Bob. Go to Unfortunately See on the Far Side. Come on, Alan. Thank you. Was just on Sky News. Little scumbags broke into a house in early hours, 3 a.m., stole an Audi S3 and then ran over. Holy moly. What country was that? Sky News. In England. My God. Audi S3. Look, lads, if somebody wants to steal your car, give it to them. That's why you have insurance. Okay, just give them give them the keys. Start the car for them. Let them off. Right? Get a tracker for the car. If you're really nervous about it. Take down all the VIN numbers and all the details. Understand what you have to do when the car is stolen. Then you stop fearing it. The key is fear here. People want you to be frightened. That's why the news, like Sky News, comes on and goes, "Oh, Audi S3 has been stolen, broken into a house 3 o'clock in the morning." This is so rare. It made Sky News. Okay. It's rare. That's the key. Don't be frightened of it. But understand what happens when your car is stolen, what you have to do, what phone numbers you have to call. You know, you get up in the middle of the night and someone's driving away in your car. I know it's a terrible invasion into your house. It's a terrible invasion into your life. But it's not the end of the world. It's only a lump of metal that stands outside the door that brings you A to B. That's why you have insurance. Anyway, thinking about the Lexus CT200H, what's your opinion? No, don't like Happy Hole. No, I don't like CT200. It's not that I don't like it. I just think it wasn't ready. When it came out, it just wasn't ready for sale. And I don't know why they did that. I'm not too sure what they were at. But it was it could have been a better car, a much better car. But it was too light and not like a Lexus at all. Love what you do, Bob. Keep up the good work. What's in store this week? What have we got on test this week? I have a Suzuki something with the little 1 litre sporty boosty thing, whatever that thing is. That's on test this week. Kia Picanto launches tomorrow, so I'll be at that. That'll be tomorrow's video probably, along with sort of a vlog thing of how to change cars. And then on Wednesday, I have to go up to Tesla in Dublin and test their Tesla cars. So you expect a video from that one as well. On Thursday, I'm on the radio over Midlands 103 doing my usual car slot thing. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing on Friday. I think I'm putting a review into a magazine or something on Friday. So all that's happening all this week. in the meantime, I'm trying to get a job as well. A normal job that pays the bills, you know, because these YouTube videos don't pay the bills, lads. Not anymore, because YouTube's in the shit. Since I commented about your off bananas, have you done the next 2 Sunday services from a car? I hope I didn't force you out of your home. No, that's my office. No, you're all right. That's a lump of my office in the background. But no, I just didn't do it from inside because all the kids are off school and all the kids are hanging around here. It's much easier if I just do it from the car. It's just as simple. And plus, it's a good sound deadening area. If you ever want to do a decent voiceover of something, do it inside a car because it's designed to deaden the sound in the first place. Very bad connection has popped up on my screen again. If I find out who's downloading something, I'll murder them. Anyway, biofuels would be decent halfway house between now and when hydrogen fuel infrastructures are finally developed. Batteries charged from fossil fuel power stations are not the answer long term. Correct, but if you change over the electric system to run more off of wind and off hydrogen, hydroelectric power, you'll have a better chance that way. Anything that gets us away from CO2 emissions, from NOx emissions, from diesels, from petrols, anything that gets us off that. I don't mean get rid of all of the cars, but I mean get us away from that to some degree will be the answer long term. But hydrogen is really expensive, really hard to make. It's coming down in price. It's also very hard to store because you're basically storing a nuclear bomb under the ground. But it's very hard to store and it's not already in a petrol station. And that's a problem. But we'll get there eventually. Hey, do you like Andrea Grande? Don't know who the hell that is. I'm from Belgium. Where are you from, Bob? Ireland. I've been in Belgium, Mary. I have been there before. I only passed through it though. I had lunch there. And we were driving from Germany to Ireland in some Opel Corsas, I think. Myself and Dave Humphreys. And we ended up having lunch in Belgium, I think. Everybody has brown eyes in Belgium. Isn't that the place? Just happy to be subscribed to your channel. Thank you very much. Subscription, good man. Good luck and make awesome videos. Is still now. Cheers from Romania. Thank you, X. Well done. Subscribe. Click the like button. That's stuff that you're supposed to do when you come here. Poland. Somebody loves Poland there. That's brilliant. Hey, I'm Korean. Where are you from? I'm from Ireland. The more you people that come on here, it's the weirdest people. Random question. Which car manufacturer has the best braking system? They're all basically the same. I'll tell you that now straight off. I know it sounds like a crazy thing, but Brembo basically make brake discs and pads for almost every car company in the world. So almost all of the cars are basically the same braking system. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, the braking system. Its braking system is a combination of everything inside the car. The suspension system, if the shocks aren't working properly, the braking system's not going to work. The discs, the pads, the weight, the force, the amount of energy you put into your foot, it all combines. And then, of course, tires. If the tires aren't good enough, then you're just going to slide forever. So you know, brakes are a part of a humongous system inside a car. I have bought a new Ignis for my city driving. Any advice on how to take good care of the car the first 3 to 4 months before first servicing? Don't let it rev too high. A lot of people do this. They rev the balls out of the car. They think it's great and all. But actually put under a lot of pressure. You kind of have to... I notice it sounds old-fashioned about letting an engine bed in. But you should let an engine bed in. Be gentle with it. Learn to take care of the car. Learn to drive easy and slow. And keep the revs down below 3,000 RPM. And you'll be fine. After that, it'll keep going forever. It's a Suzuki. What do you think is going to go wrong? Like, those are made of... they're made of iron. If you're stuck in a room with Hitler and Napoleon with a gun and only one bullet, who do you kill? Me. Piano black in cars, your thoughts? Piano black. Very hard to keep it clean. It's very hard to keep it clean. Seems to be still trending. I'm trending on YouTube. Great. Black is... I have a black car. It's very hard to keep clean. As soon as you clean the thing, it looks great, polished, and then like 5 seconds later, it's dusty. Can you tell me which compact car is best soundproofing? Golf, Leon, Megane, or other? The Golf will have the best sound. You mean soundproofing from the outside world? It will definitely be the Golf there. The Megane is fairly quiet though. The Megane can be quiet too. But I definitely think the Golf would be the one there. Anonymous. That was the answer I'd hoped. What was the answer, Marie? Did I answer something, Marie? I'm sorry. Oh yeah, sorry if I was stuck in a room with Napoleon. I know Napoleon seemed like a nice chap. Hold on, let's get a drink. How far are we in? What are we doing? 83 minutes. Okay, so click the like button. 44 is here right now. click the like button up there, please. Click subscribe wherever you can. If you click the little bell beside subscribe, you get a notification when I do one of these things, right? That's always good. Plus, you can support the independence of this channel, which is what I'm trying to do is create a documentary about the motor industry within Ireland, which has a massively interesting history. And I'd love your support on that. So if you go to patreon.com/the next gear, you can submit whatever you can there, be brilliant. And for those of you who already have, thank you so much. It's already been used for a Rode mic, which I'm connected on today. And it's really like, it's been put to use wherever I possibly can, but it's quite low. It's like $70 or $75 or something. So whatever you can put in, there's only 17 subscribers so far, or 18 subscribers on Patreon. So if you can go to patreon.com and /the next gear and click that little button and give us some money towards this documentary I'm dying to make. Otherwise I'm going to do a Kickstarter, which gets really messy, I think. Thank you very much, Lee Andrews. You're very good. Poland Anonymous. I don't know who you are, but you're after saying about Poland about 54 times so far. So sorry, just come on to your live. Which kind of channel is yours? Because I really don't understand. Click the subscribe button, Marie, first of all. Do that. Thank you very much, and click the like button. I do motors. I look after anything to do with cars, reviews, tests, vlogs, kind of daily life. Anyone who's subscribed here long enough will know how to change cars for modern journalists, who to call. You've all seen the marketing managers and stuff belong to other car companies. So, you know, you get a huge insight to the motor industry from my channel, because a lot of it it's raw, it's truthful, it's honest, it's absolutely straight up and down. This is what I'm doing today. Here's where I am and what I'm about. So, like, you can see it all there. But it's very hard to get reach on YouTube. It's very hard to push yourself out, especially at the moment. YouTube is suffering greatly with the amount of, can I get 100 likes? Of 91, go for 100 likes. Go on, just click that like button and push that up to 100 likes for the crack. What do you think of the 1.6 litre diesel in the Civic? I like that diesel. That was a really good engine of the car. It was now that's in the previous Civic. I got 75 miles a gallon out of that, Craig, so it was really good. Like, it was really efficient. Civics have always been good, just the current one looks weird. What's the best lease deal you've seen in a car currently? I don't know. Leasing things changes from country to country, and it changes all over the place. So it's really hard to nail down the business end of things unless I talk directly about Ireland. And even in Ireland, leasing has never been really a good option for anyone who's not leasing more than 5 cars at a time. If you just want one, you're better off buying the thing. Have you been to start a classic Lancia yet, Bob? I haven't got to meet the guy. We've been so busy. We've been so running around the place, all over the place, trying to get this done. And the weather hasn't been brilliant either. So I'll hopefully film something this week or next week when it comes to that Lancia, the Monte Carlo one. Can you do a what? Can you do? Is that a dedication to Loop Dine, please? I can't even pronounce half that. Hi, can you do a dedication to Loop Diane, please? Hello. Can you please describe the feeling of driving 1 litre VW Golf, other car with the same engine? Very hard to describe. The Golf is not a light car, and the 1 litre is actually pretty good. I've driven the Skoda Octavia 1 litre as well, which is quite nice. They're surprisingly powerful for what they are, but the car, again, on a motorway, you're going to struggle with fuel economy and things as well, so it's kind of hard, but I wouldn't have a problem recommending a 1 litre Golf to someone doing small mileage. Bob, what are your thoughts on the Lexus IS 300H? That's a nice car, although there's a fakey-makey noise that comes out of the speakers, which is often out of sync with the engine, so you can actually hear the engine going in the background, and you can hear this noise coming out of the speakers, like this thrumming of a V8, and they don't match, so it's kind of weird. But they are quite a nice car, yeah. If your mileage is quite small, Niall Burke, an IS 300H would be a good little runabout. Any reviews that the Ford EcoBoost engine is going up by? Don't know if Ford have actually got any on EcoBoost. They weren't a great seller here in Ireland, so I'm not too sure. But if they have one, I'll ask Ford. I'm sure Anne and the guys down in the office will have something EcoBoosty, which would be quite nice to get. What do you think? I actually have a Ford car. Have I got a Ford car booked in? I have to check my diary. I think I have a Ford car booked in. That's 12 of 34 is the user who asked that question. What do you think about Vauxhall Opel being sold to Peugeot Citroën? I don't really have a problem with that. That's just business. Business is business, and it happens. But if it creates a monopoly in that area and creates competition, it's great for the end user, so I'm okay with that. I'm on the consumer side. I don't really care what anyone else is doing. I'm on the consumer side. So if the consumer benefits from that conjoining, it's good. If the consumer finds that the market is being manipulated by this massive car company that drives prices up or makes it harder to get the cars, or you need to have better stuff to get cars, then that's not good. So we'll have to see what the results is. But from there's going to be duplication. There's going to be job losses here. There'll be duplications of jobs going. That's going to be a problem. Thanks, Emil. Do you ever think that 225 wide tires are overkill for a 1200 kg car? No, the width of a tire is to do with the grip of the tire. So the majority of the time, if you think about all 4 tires touching the road at the same time, create about the size of an A4 page. That's it. That's your maximum grip at the size of an A4 page. Wider tires means an A4 page and a half. So, but if you need the grip, if you're going to race the car, you want to drive the car on a track, or you want to be that kind of grippy person, you're going to need big wired tires. But if you want better fuel economy, you're going to need narrower tires with less grip. So one's a trade-off towards the other. That's for Motogp. Patrick Hickey says, "Hey Bob, I'm looking for a newish car, Golf size, around 10 grand euro, something reliable. I have a Mark IV Golf, and ideally I'd like a newer one, maybe a Mark VI TDI, but they have all got big mileage." There's the problem. You see, the mileage is the problem. The minute you're looking in that TDI range, you're going to get ex-rental cars or ex-fleet cars or ex-sales rep cars. That's always going to be an issue, mileage. But mileage is irrelevant as long as there's a good service history. Now, that may sound like a real bad thing to say, but it's true. If something's been going for a very long time and it's getting use and it's working properly, then it should have no problem with it into the future. My God, that's Dave. Are you still here, Dave? Still asking the same question. Don't buy an A6 manual. Hi Bob, what do you think of Honda's problems in Formula 1? I have no idea. I don't watch Formula 1, thankfully. This year I haven't watched Formula 1 at all. Hi Bob, do you know what time the Tesla event starts on the 26th to the 4th? When's the 26th to the 4th? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't. Early in the day, as far as I know. I don't know what time exactly, though. I would love to be there. Phone the dealership, Tesla dealership. They sent out an invitation to me. I didn't ask to go. They just sent one to me. So I don't know on what time it's on it. But I'm going to be there Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. But I think it's on tomorrow. I think it's on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as far as I know. So ring up the dealership, the Tesla dealership in Dublin. They're on the phone. I know I've seen their phone number, and they have a website as well. Or drop into them. It's in Sandyford. And it seems very nice. But I haven't actually been there. I haven't talked to anyone from Tesla yet. Some person in the UK sent me an invitation. So I don't know when it's on now. Has GM brought the new Bolt to Ireland? No. GM doesn't even exist in Ireland. It's Opel here. General Motors is a UK group. One more like. Somebody click like. Somebody click the like button. 100 likes. Go on. Click the bloody like button. Or as Jacksepticeye says, smash that like button in the face. Dave Hurley. Yeah, thanks for watching your videos. On my tablet, more advice, better many times. No problem at all, David. So you got the message time, Dave, right? So Dave, don't buy at 1900. There you are. Tesla events 26 to 1900. Owen says. Don't buy an A6 in a manual. Only buy an S-Tronic or a DSG. Or a Quattro. So now you know, right? No, GM did not bring a new Bolt. What's the one that we have here? The Opel something or other. There's an electric car that's like the Bolt version here, but it's an Opel. It's 100 here. It's 103 now. Yeah! We crossed over the 100 mark. 92 minutes in and crossed over the 100 mark. I love it. I love it. 104, yeah. It's still going up. Good. Click the like button. Click the subscribe button. If you click the bell beside the subscribe button, you'll get a notification on your phone when I do a live feed like this. If you want to support, I'm trying to make a documentary. I'm going to hope to make a documentary about the car industry in Ireland and how it affected the whole world out there because we started making cars in this country. How British Racing Green is actually Ireland's colours. It's nothing to do with British Racing Green. How there's just so much stuff to go through. There's so much research. I have pages and pages and pages of research already done on this kind of documentary. I'd love to make the thing. But making documentaries is a very expensive process. It's really hard. It involves setting up all kinds of things and getting camera guys and all this stuff involved. So loads of people have come forward to offer help. The problem is to devote the time to make a documentary, you still have to pay the bills. You still got to pay the mortgage and pay the pay for cameras and rental and all sort of stuff. So if you can afford to put money towards my little documentary thing or this channel to keep it free, you can go to patreon.com/the next gear and give whatever you can. The link is in the description down below, which is on that part. Check that out if you can. The documentary is going to be massively interesting. I'm hoping that it'll go out worldwide. You can all take part and take pride in it, and you'll be listed in the credits at the back to say that you were a contributor to the documentary as well. So you get your name on TV if we can get it on television. But I'd love to make a documentary. I have so many things like the Gordon Bennett rally. Gordon Bennett was a crazy English guy who came over here to create a race. They only created a race over here because the speed limit had just come in the UK and they couldn't do the Gordon Bennett rally in the UK, so they had to come to Ireland to do it because Ireland didn't have any speed limits. And they had this thing where if you ran over a sheep or any farmyard animals, if you ran over one, you had to pay the farmer on the spot £100. And so guess what farmers did? Drove their sheep into the road. But that's all in the documentary thing. Craig Ross says, "Hi Bob, what diesel car would you recommend with the most power, torque that's also economical? A Audi A6 bi-turbo." And that's no joke. You will die. You will go. I have a video of it on my channel. Have a look, Craig, at the video. Audi A6 bi-turbo. You will. It's just the best fun for a diesel yoke. It's such good crack. It makes a great noise as well. Any new cars coming soon? There is a constant supply of new cars without a shadow of a doubt. All cars now just go in 3-year cycles. 3 years, it's old. Get rid of it. New car. So to do. Lee Andrews says an i8, Craig, will do that job. What job? Diesel car. Most power, torque to. Yeah. i8's good, nice, but you can't ride the thing every day. It's the state of it. Like, would you be caught dead in that thing? So anyway, with the documentary thing, I'm hoping there's 40 of you left on the channel, which is brilliant. It's been constant going today, I would say. With the documentary, loads of people, like I said, come forward to try and help. Time is an issue. A lot of the people who are managing directors of those companies or worked in car companies are now quite old, and we are going to lose them. They are not going to be able to tell their story at some point. So either I turn on cameras and start recording what I can right now, or we try and get some funding together to try and get the documentary shot in the first place. I'd like to do a good job on it. You're dealing with car companies here, but I can't go to car companies and ask them to submit money, because if you do that, if I went to Ford and said, give me money to make a documentary about car manufacturing in Ireland, Ford would go, right, it's all about the Ford factory then. That's it. That's only a tiny bit of the story. There's a huge story to be told outside of that as well. So I'm trying to get money together to do that. I don't know how much exactly I need right now. I would say 10 grand would actually start us down the right road and probably fund it to its end at the way things are going right now, if that was possible. Maybe it could be done at Kickstarter. Maybe someone wants to set up a Kickstarter for me. I don't know. I don't know how to do those sort of things. I'm not into that sort. I never set up a Kickstarter for my entire life. I never even set up a Patreon account until a few weeks ago. I'm in a Mazda 3 right now. Well, thanks, Sarah. The same to you, with knobs on. Anytime. But enjoy your life. It's gas what people come on to say. You come on, you're going to ask a question of a live stream person live right now, and the first words out of your mouth is an insult. Not like it. Anyway, 97 minutes in, I'm going to call it there. Please subscribe wherever you can. Please click the little bell button. If you can give money on Patreon, it doesn't matter if it's £2 or if it's 100 quid. If you can give money on Patreon, brilliant. Go for it. If you can't, then just subscribe. That's all you got to do. Thank you all, 106 of you, for clicking the like button. I know like nearly 1,000 of you have actually watched this stream already, and only 106 of you clicked the like button. But that's okay, because that's the way YouTube is gone at the moment. Unless you are jumping off the roof of a building and breaking both your ankles, you basically will not get a view on YouTube. It's really hard at the moment, and everyone is suffering. Even the biggest of all channels out there are suffering massively with views. But thank you very much for watching this. I would absolutely love it if you tuned in again during the week. There'll be another video out tomorrow, and the day after, the day after, the day after, the day after that, the day after that, until I get sick of it, or until you get bored, or until I get bored, or until views go through the floor and we make no more money out of it. But if you can, please go to patreon.com/the next gear and give whatever you can. Subscribe as much as you possibly can. and tell all your friends about it, and share these videos on Facebook, and share these videos on Reddit or wherever you can. If you want to make me a meme and get the sharing going that way, that's fine. But I'm not after the viral video, so I'm okay with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the far side.